guy who knows a guy at Bloom. Preloaded with the beta Blink OS. I can give it to you for 300 if you...
Sorry to interrupt your extracurriculars, but DedSec needs you. Ready for your first stop?
Can't be losing my edge bag, man.
Auto drive now enabled.
Hello and welcome back to The Upload. In this episode, we're talking about CTOS 3.0, the city operating system that's now powering all of London. For those of you who need reminding, as if anyone does at this point, CTOS was first used in Chicago in 2014 and then San Francisco in 2017 before coming here to London. And every time it's been rolled out, it's been pretty much an unmitigated disaster.
For those of you who are listening who are lucky enough not to be here in London's chaotic scenes, it's worth remembering that the telecoms tower is now owned by Bloom. The tower looms over northwest London. It's always been a communications hub, acting as part of the UK's television and communications network, although there's been some secrecy around its use, and now that Bloom owns it, it's only even more secret.
Yeah, now everything that's part of Bloom's city surveillance operation is run through the telecoms tower. And I have to say, it looks completely ridiculous. It's got that big brown thing at the top and all the...
You might want to hurry. I'm detecting some Clan Kelly movement in the area.
Yo, boss. You're in big trouble.
What do you mean?
You beat Clan Kelly's thug in the ring, right? Now they want revenge. We dropped one of them fuckers, but they're gonna keep coming.
Ha! I've been craving a little street fight.
Nah, there's too many for you to take on by yourself. Find somewhere to hide and we'll keep them busy as long as we can.
Right. Whoever you are, thank you. I'll owe you for this.
That does not bode well.
Enemies incoming.
They won't stop shooting. Give it up.
Reloading!
Someone... Here we go, fucker. Fuck!
Jesus Christ, it's a fucking war zone!
You are going to hurt very badly.
Where is it coming from?
Exploding spider bot! Out!
Give up, and I'll make it quick!
Fucking shit!
Look out!
I need assistance!
That does it. Get somewhere safe so we can contact our fighter.
Come on, give it up!
Are you right, blood?
I've been through worse. Those damned Kellys just don't let up. I'd love the chance for a rematch.
Why don't you join DedSec? You know you wanna.
All right. I'm in. Let's have some fun.
We have an Albion operative on our roster. We should let them know they're needed.
Here's Spectrum. Let's auto drive now enabled.
Young, what the first thing happened when Britain sealed itself off? First stuff that stopped from coming was fresh food. I mean, we could live without the fresh food. I mean, everyone's quality of life got instantly worse when we could live without it. The most damaging part was when the radioactive isotopes stopped coming in. Now, radioactive isotopes, that's what we use in cancer screening, cancer treatment.
Auto.
Now, that stuff, it has a full pathway. Technology.
Oh, sick. Good to have you, blood. DedSec's gonna be unstoppable now.
Oh, yes. I'm ready, willing, and able to serve.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Nigel Cass's meeting will begin soon. Approach the Tower of London when you're ready.
Hundreds of thousands of
Auto
lives
drive now
just by
enabled.
screening for cancer, let alone testing for cancer. But that stuff has a half-life of 66 hours. As soon as those walls went up, there was just no time to bring it into the country, and that is when people started dying. And then the medicines. The thing is, there's loads of medicines that you just can't stockpile. There was a moment before it took place when actually there was some efforts to try and stockpile.
Auto drive
some
now
things.
disabled.
There was some things that could be done. For a lot of it, there was simply nothing that could be done. We had a major problem with drugs for schizophrenia. So we saw
Auto
such an
drive now
uptick
enabled.
in the kind of attacks that you saw in the street and people suffering on their own because they didn't have the mental health drugs, because those drugs simply couldn't be stockpiled. We eventually found the same thing with foods that weren't produced in the UK. And the trouble with the UK was we don't produce our own food. We never have.
Maybe eyeliner would improve
under
my
half
look.
of our own food. So as soon as those walls went up, we started having significant material problems in the country. And Britain always told itself it had this national
Auto
image,
drive
right,
now
that it-
disabled.
because it got through the war, that it could go through any kind of hardship. I mean, that wasn't really the case. People during the war.
Auto drive now
farming fighting,
enabled.
that some of this historical stuff makes out. Now, what did we see? People don't want to go through that stuff. They were desperate for the things that they had before. And they were
Auto
scared.
drive now
So they
enabled.
went to the black market. The same thing that always happens. And where did the growth of Plan Kelly come from? It came from people wanting the things
Auto
that they
drive now
previously get
enabled.
legitimately and could now only get through the black market, funneling funds towards criminality. And from there, we got to the situation we have now of this bit of war between criminals and security that seems to dominate what's going on out there on the streets.
Nothing shakes people's faith in capitalism quite as much as when capitalism fails to deliver. Here's underground writer and analyst Alfie, The Politics of Property.
I think what we've come to now is a realisation that capitalism's essentially failed. I mean, one key promise of capitalism that it makes to its citizens is that there will be surplus, that we will have plenty, and that's the whole logic for running society in this way, that people will have enough. And now, with these kind of huge shortages of everything, you're seeing that system collapse. It hasn't delivered on its primary promise. And I think we've really reached a situation where we have to do away with capitalism entirely. We're seeing a situation where there's shortages for the many, but for a few individuals, there's an elite who are not struggling and short of anything. So this is kind of fundamental inequality of a capitalist system, which is no longer producing the goods for most of us. Shortages are being used as well. I'm not saying that there isn't a real shortage. There possibly is real shortages, but shortages are being used as an excuse for those in power, those elites, to keep what they want and not give to the rest of us what we need. So the excuse that there's simply not enough to go around is the justification for maintaining a kind of power of the 1% and leaving the rest of us short.
So if you're starving hungry tonight, if your parents can't get their medicine and your brothers and sisters have to steal to eat, remember, it's all for the good of Albion. Or Clan Kelly. Or someone. Just not us. But that's going to change. You've been listening to Buccaneer with me, Tash. Keep spreading the word and keep sharing the podcast. There's enough of everything out there for all of us. We just need the guts to take it back.
Coming up in today's episode of The Upload, we're talking about how Bagley managed to conquer London. Pretty much my favourite topic. I could talk for hours about the rise of the AI system. It's easy to forget about its origins. It's so present everywhere we go now. Bagley just kind of blends into the background.
Bagley is the service AI that's present in every Optic device. Whether you're using the Optic, Bagley will be there. The AI is streamed to your Optic from Bloom Central Command Center, and it was first created by Sky Larson,
our tech hero, as part of her techno-utopian idea for the world. Why do you think it's true so quickly?
In my mind, it's no surprise that Bagley
Huh?
If we're lucky, word hasn't spread that you've hung up your jackboots. Just try to put on your meek, harmless, broken by the system face. Oh, and don't forget your uniform. Looking sharp. Your ex-colleagues won't pay any attention to you unless you let them take a close look.
What is this filthy rubbish?
Failure to comply will result in resisting arrest. Using restraining measures.
Wait for Friday, mate. Simmons, do you know him? Anyway, no matter. He's the one who organised our team-building activity. He's rounded up a few of the prisoners they brought in a little while ago, the ones who didn't have any relatives. He figures it'll make for an easier time when we declare them missing. Right, so the fun part. He's going to release them into an open field while we get our shots in. I'll bet you a pint I can get rid of 10 before you. You're on, you slimy bastard.
Shit! Potato!
A word of caution now we're inside. Any disturbance in here and Nigel Cass will surely cancel his meeting. Avoid being detected by your former colleagues or this operation is a bust.
Nigel won't have anything important on this floor.
You Cass expert, you. You seen his puller profile or something?
Yeah. I was Albion too, if you hadn't twigged to that. Me and Cass were close once. Looked up to him. He was bigger than life, fam. Literally a tech genius. And I was just a gearhead kid. I wanted to be like him. That's why I joined up.
Give me a break.
Didn't find out he was a murderous prick until later.
This door clearly requires a security pass.
Wonderful.
Use one of the nearby computers to create your forgery.
Be careful. You don't want to know what Nigel does with trespassers.
Going at it, fists up, guns blazing, will not solve anything.
You been up there lately? There are some parts of the city that would work more with some heavy boots. You understand? Sure, that's what we're taking care of them.
It'll take some time for the forgery to be ready. To keep you occupied, I dragged up still images and a recording from an internal investigation into Cass Senior's death.
Let's see it. Oh my.
I'm not one to make light of one's mental health, but Cass clearly has issues. And he's been put in charge of keeping London safe.
Yeah, well, Nigel's never close to anyone but his dad. And me, I guess. Never had much faith in people, really.
Well, the pass is ready, but rough. If this resistance thing doesn't work out, I doubt you'll make a living as a document forger. Let's give it a go anyway. Nigel Cass awaits.
How's it going? Seems a bit tense.
Intruder alert! Intruder alert!
Stand down!
Intruder alert! Intruder alert!
Ha-ha! Hacker cherry popped.
So can you tell me a little bit more about how
Intruder alert! Intruder alert!
Who the fuck is that? Unfucking believable.
So can you tell me a little bit more about how
I've never seen this tosser before.
They're down boots before coming in. No, I haven't got
What else could we ask for? Is that a new recruit?
I heard someone saying DedSec was back.
They better not be. Just a bunch of terrorists pretending to have morals.
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
How's it going? Seems a bit tense.
How are you getting on with those metrics? The deadline is coming up quickly. We wouldn't do to miss it. He's presenting to the stakeholders right now.
Is that the new hire?
I know, but if I mess this up, then the whole...
Welcome to Project Themis. Our new autonomous drones. These drones can identify, isolate, and terminate threats before they can do harm. They can go anywhere, see everything. They could kill a man alone in an alley or in a crowd of hundreds with perfect precision. Themis drones can do what humans have always struggled to. Act immediately and decisively. Without your support, I couldn't stand here and tell you, I promise you, that with the launch of Project Themis, London will be the first city in the world to be made truly safe.
Mr. Cass, I was hoping you'd called us all in here today to discuss the ethical issues.
No, it's all right. The Commissioner cares, as we all do. I admire his passion and his dedication. Let's talk ethics.
Well, for one, Themis goes far beyond Albion's mandate. We really should have more government consultation.
I see. Delay the launch so that we can debate and assess the details.
We're missing the human element here. I can get the Defense Minister on the line right now.
Well, if you feel you must. It's the human element that got us into this. No more debate, delay, indecision. Understand this. I will not allow anyone, not even myself, to jeopardize Themis. Now, will our friends at Tidus be ready? You are the cornerstone of the project after all. Do you need to consult any outside parties?
No. We'll be ready.
And just in time. Criminals running our streets. Illegals threatening our families. The police commissioner himself. Assassinated by terrorists. Decisiveness is hard. But here's the best part. Once this decision is made, no more will be required of you.
Attention, a building-wide security sweep has been initiated due to document breach.
I warned you about that forgery. Your uniform will help. Don't let them get a close look at you.
How the bloody hell do I get out of here, Bags?
The catacombs, fam. Saw Nigel in action in there, didn't you? Man can be very, persuasive.
Anyone can be with a gun in hand. It's crass. He does seem in a hurry to launch this Themis project. None of what I've heard is comforting. Damn. Shit! I don't like this one bit. earth was that?
Fucking hell. Albion's top secret project is an automated killing machine. And it looks like Cass is almost ready to launch. We have to get Themis out of his hands.
I'll prepare a briefing. Will we see you there, Hamish?
Pretty face, not risking, remember? But patch me in. You and me got some scheming to do, Bagley.
I am. Now let's hurry this up, please.
Scanning. You're clear. Move on.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Oh my, I am rather good at this DedSec business, aren't I?
You wouldn't have been recruited if DedSec thought you'd be killed that easily.
You sure know how to sweet-talk a gentleman.
I appreciate Bagley's to-the-point nature. I'm sure you'll get used to it yourself.
Walk on, yeah. We're done here.
It was great just to be able to have a little
Auto
bit
drive
of
now
money to
enabled.
carry around with you.
I think the turning point in the UK really came a few years ago when the pound dropped 10% over just one season. People living off grid started using crypto, and just as everyone was losing faith in the pound, they were gaining it in cryptocurrency, which turned out to be much more stable, kind of the opposite to what people thought in the beginning.
And then, of course, there was the recession. It didn't take long for startups to see an opportunity in this new way of doing finance. A lot of traditional money was converted to crypto, and it really shook up the financial sector.
Can you remember when they first introduced crypto cash points?
That was really sneaky. It was a classic startup behaviour. They just installed them everywhere. No consultation with the government, no approval or anything. But people immediately started to use them.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of how Bloom put out the Optic. They just made it free and flooded the streets with these devices. Suddenly everyone had them.
If there's this great option of tech, people are just going to start using it, no matter the cost.
Parliament actually tried to put a stop to the cash points, but people were using them so much already. There was outrage. I mean, some parts of London were already using crypto as their primary currency by then.
And now, apparently, or at least in theory, crypto is illegal.
Yeah, in May this year, economists found that crypto was being traded more than the pound, and banks were not happy. They basically forced the government to ban cryptocurrency in a last-ditch effort to save the pound.
But it's not like that's worked. People are still using crypto, and it's been pushed further, deeper underground. Things used to work fine with crypto, and it was just a peer-to-peer sharing economy-style system. Now it's all on the dark web and wrapped up again in organised crime.
Yeah, if you want to make something thrive on the black market, just make it illegal.
The Bug. Objective voice of objection for a most objectionable world. Hello, Bugsters. Welcome to The Bug, the comedy show that holds up the Medusa of satire to the already immovably concrete face of modern Britain. I'm Andy, I'm bench 480, and I can practically just by looking at it. Cannot, but it's reality. Alex, what do you bench?
I bench body weights.
Right.
Well, not my body weight.
Okay.
Body weight of a baby.
Yeah, I mean, you don't need to give that kind of detail. Just
It's very impressive. People look at me and go, where did you get that baby?
Yeah. You are listening to The Bug.
In this week's Truth News, according to an official poll, 98% of Londoners are very happy with CTOS. And I am not sure that I agree with this, Andy. I don't think 98% of Londoners have ever, in the history of London, ever agreed on anything. You could not get 98% of Londoners to agree that oxygen was better than breathing a fog of raw liquid feces. And they expect us to believe that everyone agrees CTOS is better than not choking on shit mist.
I mean, maybe they just meant 98% of one specific Londoner who bought shares in Bloom before its tentacles grew to every crevice of the country. I mean, this is not just any old poll, we should say that. This is not any poll. This is an official poll, right from the very heart of government. It's not a knock-off fake poll of an elderly couple and their mangy old dog sitting on a bench waiting to die. This is an official poll. So let's just put those words, official poll, through an online translator in case you didn't study languages. Let's find out what it actually means. Made up lie. There we go. Glad to clear that up. I think it's fair to say entirely trust these official polls they feed us, Alice. I mean, they could publish an official poll saying that over 99.9% of children like ice cream, and I would instantly assume that all children now hate all ice cream and would prefer to eat a bucket of gravel mixed with dead badger. They could publish an official poll saying that 10 out of 10 cats prefer cat food to being whacked with a tennis racket, and I would assume that all cats have gone vegan and are queuing up outside all of them meowing, choose me.
I trust these polls as much as I trust someone recommending a movie that they watched during a breakup. Your judgment is impaired, Sally. I'll make my own decisions.
I trust those polls as much as I would trust Mary Kelly if she came up to me and said, "Congratulations, Andy, you've just won a free holiday to the south of France in the back of this
Auto drive
new
now
Rolls
disabled.
I think official polls are like the unsolicited dick pics that the government provides us. I didn't ask for it, I don't believe it, it's on an
Auto
angle,
drive
you've
now
artificially
enabled.
inflated it ahead of time, and anyone that falls for one deserves all the disappointment of trying to match it to reality. These polls are absolute rubbish, Andy. I read one the other day that said the plumbing in London was good, and it absolutely is not. I mean, we have this technology now where they can spy on my every bowel movement. There's a CTOS camera installed inside my underwear drawer. A media drone is scaring the birds off my garden bird feeder, and you can't get me consistently hot water.
Speaking of media drones, I mean, they're everywhere, clearly.
Auto
The great
drive
thing, I
now
guess, about
disabled.
media drones is that, as inanimate robots, they actually have more humanity, compassion, and dignity.
I'll start the briefing whenever you're ready. Here's what we know about Nigel Cass. He's rolling out something called Project Themis. The lack of information on its own is worrisome, but what little we do know is Cass wishes to remove the human element from law enforcement.
We also know he's partnered with Titus, which is never good. Titus does other work with Albion. Nasty shit like autonomous weapons, human targeting algorithms.
So Titus is our best lead to fill in the blanks on the secret project, but their security is notoriously difficult to crack. So Hamish has proposed an intriguing solution.
Albion's been working on a new microdrone, something my contact told me about. That shit's not even in production yet, but if we get the plans, we can manufacture our own.
To bypass Titus security.
Exactly. They're weird as fuck. Supposed to do maintenance on Albion's other drones, but the smallness of them means they can slip into places nothing else can.
Well, there we have it. Our next step is to infiltrate the Albion drone manufacturing lab and get our hands on schematics.
And then you lot will have a fun little gadget to break into Titus. Love it. I'll shoot you the location. Be careful. Albion doesn't like to share his toys.
All right. This is a bad one. Someone in 404 sent me a text file. DedSec's international safe houses have been compromised. Does the name Heath Bolton mean anything to you?
No.
Didn't think so. Bolton was a small-time player with DedSec Houston until he ratted out the whole cell and fled the country. Now he's in London, and he's willing to sell all of DedSec's secrets to the highest bidder.
Bollocks.
Yeah, I know. Being associated with DedSec's been good for my brand, and I don't want that getting fucked. I'll send you this text file. The rest is up to you.
American State Department keeps tabs on all their citizens abroad. If you want to find Heath Bolton, hack the CTOS hub at the American Embassy, and I can use their records to track him down.
Thanks a million, Bags.
This is happening. Not gonna let my blood boil over this situation. Really? What up? What is going on?
Disobedience will be met with force.
Auto drive now enabled.
We all have crosses to bear.
At this point, they've installed so many CTOS cameras, I'm not sure where they'll put the new ones. On top of the old ones, just cameras watching other cameras, like a social media influencer so self-absorbed they don't know how to sleep without turning it into monetized content.
I think that's the logical end of all society, isn't it? Where just everything has just become a camera filming another camera. To be honest, I've just given up on all news and reality now, Alice. I just, in fact, I now just make up my own headlines these days. I get a piece of paper and a pen. Remember them? Paper and pens, those were the days. And I'll just write down the headlines I want to read. Now, I'll just make my own newspaper. Look, here I've got today. If you point at the bird shit on your car window and say it's a currency, no one can tell you otherwise. Screams Chancellor at Bilderberg karaoke night. Let's write another headline. Here we go. PM announces Britain back on track after swapping all Crown Estate properties for some magic beans. Might as well, we've got to do something as the nation we are today. Here's another one. Wild joy on the streets as Britain signs £864 zillion trade deal with Bolivia. There we go. Build a better world. Government claims only nice people will benefit from agreement to sell trampolines, mermaids and warships to landlocked South American nation. We're building a better Britain. Here's another one. Environment probably fine, claims drowning scientist. Invent the world you want to have, people. It's going to be way, way better than the one you've actually got. From the Bug, goodbye. From the Buccaneer, this is the Bug.
You're listening to The Bug.
Nibbling away on the rotting carcass of a once free Britain. Hello, resistors, this is The Bug, keeping the fire of hope alive in the vacuum of today's Britain. Okay, fires don't burn in vacuums. It's a little novelty Christmas light, shaped like a flame, but it's something. It is something to cling to. Joining me, as always, is Alice. And Alice, hold the front page. Technology apparently is here to stay. There's no way around that now. Much as I'd like to go back to the 18th century and see if we can have another crack at the Industrial Revolution and get it later on this time. But new tech is creating 4,000 jobs. Count them all, 4,000. 4,000 new jobs, thanks to this new tech investment.
I mean, that's a very exciting thing if you're someone who wants to work in the tech sector, but I can only assume that this tech investment has created 4,000 jobs that will immediately be taken by robots.
Even if they're not, there'll be jobs that no one in their right, sane mind would actually want to do, but that's the price of progress, I guess. And we have to embrace the way technology is taking over everything, because maybe this is a ray of hope for us in this darkened universe, that technology will in fact render us all obsolete, and we won't need humans at all, because look at the bad things that are happening now. What is the common denominator behind all of them?
I don't know, Andy, tell me.
All the bad things that are happening now, all the bad things that have ever happened, all involve human beings. They're always involved whenever anything goes wrong from the very dawn of time. And think of this, an automated Nigel Cass, surely a step up on the human Nigel Cass. You could even program it to have a tiny, tiny sliver of conscience. And if you had an automated Prime Minister, you could program it to be occasionally in the goddamn country. So that's, again, it's a step forward.
Again, I insist that there's never been a Prime Minister, Andy. I've never seen him, I've never heard of him. The only times I ever hear what the Prime Minister does is when nothing happens.
I mean, it has reached the point where, and I've thought this for a long time, we would be better off if the Prime Minister was a watermelon. No, it would be, I think we'd all be happy with that. We'd all know where we stood.
You hear him being praised for his diplomatic skills all the time, but the best mark of diplomacy is when nothing happens. So good diplomacy is indistinguishable from him doing absolutely nothing.
You are listening to The Bug. 4,000 new dream jobs for everyone. All I can say, Alice, is that I'm very glad that my children studied drama at school, because that has set them up for life in modern Britain. That is the one core skill they need, the ability to pretend that they are living happy and fulfilled lives, that they have jobs that are worth doing, and that they're making the planet a better place, and that they control their own destinies, and that they have even a parody of a private life, and that they can smile without crying. That's what drama teaches them to do, crucial skills in this day and age. Of course, it's not just the jobs that have been technologicalised beyond all recognition, it is also all reality. Thanks once again to Optic. According to Bloom, the Optic system is now the most secure it's ever been. And, well, of course, I mean, it's so convenient, Optic, isn't it? It saves us so much time and hassle trying to exist in the kind of realm of reality. We don't even need to bother with that. I mean, sure, the government has hacked into my soul and now basically monitors my every waking moment and thought. But at least I don't have to type, "Where's my nearest coffee shop?" into a search engine. At least I don't have to waste anything between 8 and 12 seconds every day going online to look up how to make a bowl of muesli. And at least I'm not frittering away at my precious mental energies thinking, what do I actually think?
Optic is so secure, Andy. It's more secure than a teenage girl reading a women's magazine. It's more secure than a comedian with a drinking problem. It's more secure than a young man who's just got his first motorcycle license.
Finally, before we go today, bug off to the Prime Minister, who has once again FRO'd to who knows where this week. He sure as hell is not here in London. I remember back in the day, Alice, when our Prime Ministers were either incompetent or crooked, but not both at once. But actually, no, I can't remember them being both at once. But incompetent, crooked, and not even in the country. That is one impressive triple whammy. I've had Lyons longer than his longest spell on British soil in this last year. It's this halfway house I can't stand. Either come back and do the job, or leave the planet entirely. I'm pretty sure there must be a spare space station knocking around where he can go and entertain himself for the rest of the time. Can we crowdfund it? Tell you what, let's make a cryptocurrency out of something and crowdfund it that way. What have you got spare? Jelly beans? Are they still legal?
He's away so often, Andy. I'm starting to think he doesn't like the country.
That is all from the Bug today. Fly away, bugs. We are done.
Auto drive.
You're coming up on the Albion drone facility where the micro drone is being developed.
I hope this will be worth the risk.
It will be. You're gonna need to disable the security system protecting the R&D lab.
Cease and desist, or you will be destroyed.
dispatch.
Let's keep our eyes peeled.
Unlawful activity will result in arrest. Surrender yourself.
Need some cover!
Engaging target.